Hey, it's Brock here from Rock Hill Farms, and today is my first time taking the skid loader with the brush cutter to a job. And I wasn't sure how well it was going to work out because the brush cutter's fairly long, and just putting it on the front of the loader and driving on would have my weight too far back. So I drove up, put the brush cutter on, drove back off, went and got the grapple, which I will also need, and then I backed the skid loader on. That has my weight centered right where I need it to be, and it should work out good. So I'm gonna get this thing secured and get out to the job. We've got a couple acres to mow and a tree that has fallen over a fence that we're gonna clean up. Should be fun. Okay, so this is the property. It's only 2 acres. It's not overgrown in trees. We're cutting mainly tall grass. So this is the type of job that, in general, I would say I'm going to continue using the tractor for. There's a few reasons I brought the skid loader today, some more practical than others. Reason number one, it's a newer implement and I'd just like to use it, and I'd also like to get a feel for how long it takes to mow an acre with this so I can really do comparisons. Number two, it's been really rainy. This ground might be wet. I was talking to the property owner and we thought maybe the skid loader would get around better if there are some muddy spots. Number three, there's a pretty good sized tree that's fallen across a fence over here, and they want me to try to cut it loose a little bit, reach across and pull it. And I thought the skid loader would have a better chance of moving the whole thing, or with only having to cut it in a few places rather than trying to buck the whole thing up. I started off by making a perimeter around the entire property and making a couple of passes all the way around to try to establish where the hazards were and give myself room to turn around. The property owner let me know about the pile of logs and debris in each of the corners up closer to the house. And then of course I found some other stuff that I wasn't expecting, but that basically always happens and I can't even be upset about it. One consideration on any kind of a mowing job is what is the most efficient route to minimize time spent turning, or just to be the most efficient you can be. And in this application, I decided to make straight passes up and down after doing the perimeter. And I experimented a little bit between making 3-point turns and just spinning the machine around. And finally ended up doing mostly just 180-degree turns in place, because even the 3-point turns tear the grass up quite a bit. Something else that is a factor when mowing with the skid loader is that this brush cutter has really heavy-duty wheels on the front that basically keep you from digging the blades into the dirt, but I don't like to skid those sideways. So anytime you see me pivot or turn, I'm lifting just slightly on the deck before making that turn. I really didn't get good footage of it, but on one of these trees in this area, I actually hit a piece of steel pipe fencing. It was actually a gate that had been laid next to one of these trees. And one nice thing about the skid loader compared to the tractor is you have such a good view of the area you're cutting, and your hand is already on the joystick, so it's very quick and intuitive to pull that up before damage is done. As far as pros and cons between brush cutting with the tractor and the skid loader, obviously you can cut larger material with the skid loader, and the tractor is a little bit faster. Since I don't have a fully enclosed and air-conditioned cab, it's a lot more comfortable to mow with the skid loader because I'm keeping all the dust off me. You also have really good visibility to see clearly what you're about to mow over, and I don't think it's as likely to damage anything if you hit a big stump with mowing with the skid loader. The number one advantage to the tractor is cost to operate per hour, and that's why you'll probably see me do most of my brush cutting with the tractor going forward, unless it's heavy material. Just finished all the mowing, and I've been here for an hour and 45 minutes for 2 acres. There were 3 times I got out of the machine just to do something with the camera. I'm gonna say an hour and a half for 2 acres, 45 minutes an acre for easy to cut material like this. And this has a lot of obstacles that are obvious obstacles. So I'll just keep that in mind, about 45 minutes an acre. I think the tractor can do 30 minutes an acre. But once again, it depends on material. Thicker material is gonna slow it down even more than it does the skid loader. Now let's look at what I've got left out here. So there's the 2 acres after it's been mowed. here is the tree. The majority of this tree looks pretty healthy, but the roots, you see this thing just uprooted. Obviously, I'm guessing in a storm. It completely uprooted, and when you look at the roots, they look rotted. And I was told that water can sometimes stand over here. So I think that's what got this one. May have been some insects or some kind of a disease involved, I'm not sure. It's not nearly as large a tree as I'm used to dealing with, but I still don't think I'm gonna try to pick the whole thing up at once. I'm thinking if I come down the fence about 10 feet and cut off the main trunk and then cut this limb right here off, I'll be able to lift it out. So we're gonna call that a successful job in the books. Cleaned up a couple messes, cut some brush. The neighbor lady came over and was glad to see that fence or that tree come off the fence. So feels like a good half day's work. And I appreciate you taking time to watch this video. I'll put links on the screen to more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.